Hi, this is Bob. You may know me from the Free Film School and the free fergfilm YouTube channels and Instagram channels. But today I'm here to comment on a serious note. Online dating apps do not work. Basically, the women on online dating are not really interested in getting a match. I'd say 50% to maybe 60% are not interested in getting a match. They're interested in going out to have a date, going out on dates, going out on museum and art gallery visits, lunches, dinners, but not exactly long-term relationship goals. They want to continue dating because their girlfriends tell them that they need to get back into dating. They're reluctant, but they try it, but then they say, hey, I can get a free meal out of this, or hey, I can get a trip out of this, or I can have someone to go to the art museum with, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason you can tell this is because of the statistics of relationships in America right now. I read that younger guys are having problems getting women because the job prospects are not that great. And women want a package. They don't want a guy continuing to look for a job when that's no fault of his own. It's the way the economy has progressed and will progress, I think, in the future to less jobs and more automation and less people needed. Anyway, that's the younger people's problem. The middle-aged people are married. They got married when marriage was popular. They got married. But if you're like myself, an older gentleman, the odds are against us. 14% get married after the age of 60. Women, 30%. So women have a higher percent even as they age. So anyway, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to mention the name of dating apps because I've tried them all and they all do not work for me. I'm getting more attention on X for some reason. X, the profile, the formerly known as Twitter. So I'm getting some interest on X. So I wasn't expecting to get. That's not considered a dating app. So that's interesting. Anyway, so I just want to let people know out there that maybe society should go back to the old-fashioned way of meeting people in person. And people should get off their phones, including me. I will give you some examples of how you can tell, or how I can tell, that women are not interested maybe in dating me or anybody in general. I mean, okay. This one lady, we were having a couple dates, and we had a third date. I went to her house, and I had a health issue. So we're over 60, and she is over 60 or 50. She was 50. And people of that age bracket do have health problems. So anyway, I show up in her house in an Uber because I had a health injury and I couldn't drive for a couple months. So I took Uber. And she goes, "You have health problems?" And I said, well, you told me you had mental health problems. So you have health problems too. She goes, I can't date somebody with health problems. Okay. Another trick is, okay, here's something for the guys out there. If you want to get in good with the woman the first time you meet her, or before you even meet her, invite her to the Cheesecake Factory. The Cheesecake Factory is sort of like it's an aphrodisiac to women. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to give you a few more of my experiences online dating. I had a lady that we seemed to be getting along. She basically was in Newport Beach, and we were getting along. We had one date, and the date lasted longer than I thought it would last. And we went up to her apartment, and she goes, "Oh, by the way, you're in IT. Can you fix my computer?" So she was she was on the date for me to call Norton and have her get her antivirus updated. And then we had a wonderful afternoon sightseeing Newport, and then we went for pizza, and usually it lasted a little longer than I thought it would last. And then I said, well, do you think we have another date? And she goes, no, I'm thinking I don't like America anymore. I'm thinking about going back to Pakistan. I go, okay, well, bon voyage. Okay, that's another date. Then I had another date with a lady, and we met at Cheesecake Factory, the popular place, in Huntington Beach. And we were going. The day was going swimmingly. It didn't end, and it was good. It was a long lasting date. And then I walked her to her car, and it was a cold day, and it was colder probably at the beach. So she goes, "Oh, you have your camera with you. You can go to the beach and take pictures. That's a suggestion." I said, "Okay." So I didn't know that wasn't just a suggestion, but that I found out later that was kind of an order. What happened was it was too cold at the beach. A lot of these dates, personally, I have to put on my best foot forward. I have to put on my best face. I have to psych myself up. So it takes a lot of energy sometimes. And I didn't feel like going to the beach. It was too cold. Plus, there was a big traffic jam going to the beach, the main road to go to Huntington Beach. So I said, I'll go home. I'll be better tomorrow. I'll rest up, and I'll tell her that, we can reschedule, right? So she texts me. She goes, "Are you still in Huntington Beach?" I said, "No, I decided to go home. It was kind of cold at the beach, so I decided to go home. Okay, here's another phrase that some reason it ends the dates. Can we schedule another day?" They don't like that. They want that immediate satisfaction. I had that happen with two people. Can we schedule another day? No, they don't like that. Anyway, so then I text her on the app, the dating app, and she said, "No, we're not a match." Well, we were a match. We were a match, yesterday. Then I had another date, Huntington Beach again. We had a nice date. She was friendly. I was friendly. I walked her to her car, and then she called me up and she said, "Would you like to go to a social gathering in the evening after work?" I said, "Sure." She goes, "It's at a house." So I get to the house. It's a born-again Christian Bible study. So, okay, the Bible's, she wants me to find out about her religion, that's fine. So I sit down with the group, and they ask me, Bob, how do you know so and so? And I say I don't remember the names. The only names I remember from dating are the ones that say yes a second time, and then I don't even remember them because they're not around anymore. They're gone. But anyway, so I guess my point is, continuing my story. Um, they asked me why I'm there. And I said, well, I know so and so. She invited me to the Bible study. They go, how did you meet? And I said, at a date, on a date. And the whole group went, a date? I'm like, what are these people like? These are born again Christians, but they're like 10th century born again Christians. Oh, they're against dating? How do Christians find people, right? I mean, how do this is ultra conservative Christians. Anyway, no children for them. Anyway, so and then she ignored me throughout the whole prayer congregation meeting, right? She ignored me, and that was just strange. I had another date with another lady, and she worked in Irvine, but she lived far away. I think she lived in Riverside or whatever. But anyway, so she said she had 3 jobs. I said, only 3 jobs? And then I said, well, she goes, I'm divorced and I have a son. I said, okay, that's okay. How old's your son? He goes, he's in high school. I said, oh, okay, fine. So she goes, and then I didn't have to do any talking. She basically, she did the order because it was a Vietnamese restaurant. She was Vietnamese, so she did the order, and then we had our lunch, and then I asked her about her ex-husband, and I asked her about her son, and she goes, my ex-husband, I got away from him because he beat me. And I said, okay, that's not good. And then she goes, and I said, what about your son? She goes, he beat me too. I said, okay, that's not good. Okay. So I rejected her softly. I didn't want to get her mad. On the current dating app I'm on, I won't mention it by name, but there's a lot of international people on this one. Okay, the international person that I met was from, oh God, I can't remember the country. I have it's a Muslim country, but I can't remember it. But anyway, with the social media, everyone has phone access around the world. So I was talking to her on WhatsApp or whatever, or one of those apps, and it sounded like she was in the next room. So I'm like, okay. And she goes, why don't you want to go to X country? I can't remember the country now. Afghanistan? I think it was Afghanistan. And I said, well, because I looked up on the U.S. State Department's safe and dangerous countries for tourists, Americans to go to, and it was on the list for possible kidnapping, possible violence. And she goes, oh, that's hogwash. Your government doesn't know. I actually live here and I know what's going on. It's perfectly safe. She goes, you'll be with me. I said, I don't know about that. Anyway, so that's that person. Do I have another one to tell about? But I guess the point of my my story is that online dating does not work, and the odds I have of finding a partner now that I'm a certain age is 15%. And we've got to get back to the old way of people meeting by actually meeting. And scratch out that online dating thing. That gives people a crush to it's a crutch to reject people. I mean, people should reject people, but they shouldn't. Online dating is unnecessary. People need to text or phone, and that's it. You don't need online dating. You need to meet people. And I don't know what the answer is. We're going to be separate in the next century, and the population will go down. If you have thoughts, or you want to get mad at me, or agree with me, send me a like or a dislike, or text your comments. Take care. Have a nice day.